Hello and welcome to EPR with your favorite environmental nerds, Nic and Laura. On today's episode, we talk about our favorite birds. We interview Alex Troutman about spark birds, lifers, lifer pie, and becoming the mirror for yourself. And finally, kingfishers. Like Alex said, kingfishers did inspire the Japanese bullet train, but there are some other fun facts about them. You can tell the males and females apart solely from their beaks. They're solitary birds, and kingfishers' chicks have fluorescent beak tips so their parents can find them in the dark. What?
That was awesome.
That is awesome. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hit that music.
ACRA's 31st annual conference will be held in Raleigh, North Carolina from September 11th through the 14th at the Sheraton Raleigh Hotel. This year's conference theme is Policy and Protecting Cultural Resources, and it is intended to explore how policy intersects with the protection of cultural resources. This includes federal policy, state policies, and the involvement of communities and other stakeholders. Register now at www.acra-crm.org. Let's get to our segment.
Well, the interview with Alex was freaking awesome. I'm super excited for people to listen to this one.
Yeah, me too.
But when we were interviewed a few weeks ago by Casey, Marley, and Sam, one of the questions that they asked us was, what have we learned? Like, have there been any moments where like, oh, I didn't know that? And yes, it happens all the time, but like remembering it was hard to pull them out, but it happens all the time. But today, since it's now in my mind, there were several things that were like, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But one of them was, he's a birder. So one of them was he has a spark bird. And I was like, what is that? I want one.
Yeah, I've never heard the term before either.
Right. And then there was the other one. Do you remember the other one?
No.
Your life bird. It was like your life bird or something.
Oh, yeah.
Marley,
Yeah.
Remember?
Life bird. Yeah.
Life bird? Okay. Yeah. So I want to know, what is your spark bird and your life bird? And then I guess we have to tell people what those are.
Yeah. So spark bird is like a bird that got you into birding, right? And like, I'm not necessarily a birder per se, but one of my favorite birds, besides, he talked about kingfishers, and I love kingfishers.
Oh, I freaking love kingfishers.
Lots of ways. They're great. But really, the first time I saw a bird, and I was like, it's just an awesome bird. It's a small, like a cedar waxwing for me. Was like, they're just so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And these little birds, and they're otherwise just living regular old bird lives. Nothing unique about them other than the way they look, but it's just like, they just look cool. And like, I like hearing the way they sound is really nice too. I love that we give a shout out to house sparrows in the episode, because they really, or house finches, whatever it is. I can't even remember. See, now I'm thrown off, but like, it's fun. Like, birds are hard. It's hard for me to pick one that I like, but I think my favorite bird fact is like all the eagle screeches you hear.
You have a spark fact.
Yeah, I do. I love that like all the eagle screeches you hear are actually red-tailed hawks. That tickles me to death. It's what not eagles. Eagles like kitter, like they have like a thing. And like red-tailed hawks are like, die! Like that's how they do it. Like, and so that's what you hear, because it's much more impressive, and it's red-tailed hawks, not eagles.
Interesting. Yeah, my spark bird is probably a weird one, because growing up in Florida and not being like going outside, not being a nature person per se, mockingbirds. Mockingbirds are the coolest little troublemakers.
They are troublemakers.
Mimickers. That's exactly the word. Yeah. They wake like in the morning, they are singing their little hearts out. Like they're just interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. And they really are. They are coming after everybody.
Yes, they are not scared.
Yeah,
they will be chasing crows and chasing eagles.
Yeah. Chirp, 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 chirp. Yeah, exactly. Golly.
But what about a life bird?
Life bird for me, like I'm going to steal from him. Like a penguin would be right up there. And like, I know they don't smell great. I know it, but they look amazing. I think they're really, really unique birds. And that would mean that I'm in Antarctica, hopefully, which I would love to get to at some point before I die. And
are you following Erica Moulton or Tiffany DeWong right now?
Oh, I know that they're in Antarctica.
If you were following them, I would think I would know. You'd be so jealous.
Oh, no, I can't. But, well, that's not true. I actually am following Tiffany. But it's hard. It just has so many great things that I'm like, oh, this hurts.
I mean, they were showing like the passage to Greenland, and it's midnight. So it's midnight sun. total calm, flat water and just amazing.
Oh,
So
man.
Arctic
Yeah.
summer, like so cool.
Like I finally got to see manta rays, so I feel like I can start looking at JD's videos again. But like, that's tough for me. So what about you? What are your
My bird goals?
Your life bird.
My life bird?
Your spark bird, but what's your life bird?
Yeah, my life bird, my next level bird is a puffin. Because I've been to Iceland. Yes, I've been in the winter. I have not been in the summer. And you would think that I don't know, in my brain anyway, you would think you'd see them in the winter for some reason, but they are there in the summer. So I need to go back to Iceland. Same as you. That would mean I'm in Iceland if I'm looking at a puffin in summer. But then I think I want to see something more crazy. I follow so many pages that show these like wild birds, and I don't even know that I know the names of them, but I think my life bird is waiting for me in Madagascar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think he actually called them lifers now that we're at the end of this.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but life bird. Well, now we have to keep listening and see what the actual term is.
Now that we actually see, this is how you know we're getting older. That's our brains working.
You guys missed it. Remember, a big part of the lifer bird was that afterwards, if you found your bird, you got to eat a pie of your choice.
Yeah.
I wanted to interject.
Memories. Well, you just interjected. So, second part of this conversation.
Lifer pie.
Marley, for the save. Okay. What would you eat
What pie would I eat?
After I see a puffin, what pie am I going to eat?
Oh, yeah. No, you go first this time. And we apologize to Sam for all the editing she's going to do.
I think that if I'm going to eat, I have to say the first thing that comes into my mind, which is going to be chocolate peanut butter or something.
Oh, wow. Chocolate peanut butter something.
Pie. I mean,
yeah.
I have some kind.
Yeah, no, I hear you. For me, like, there's always, I know it's not like the most wildest pie, but like pumpkin pie is always my favorite because it's like, it's my birthday cake. Because like my birthday's late November, always near Thanksgiving. So like I would get pumpkin pie, not my birthday cake. And I don't know, I still like that. It's still like, nostalgia. It's not.
So even after you saw your lifer bird, you'd still have your birthday cake.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. There isn't one that's better that I like more than that. Honestly, I'm not a big pie person, if I'm honest.
Honestly, though, I have to look up like what are the pies in Iceland because I'll be in Iceland.
Oh, yeah. Well, like my grandfather made his own pies from scratch. Like that was like his thing. And he made an amazing apple pie. I mean, like from his own apples, his own dough, and it was to die for. But it's like the way he made it is in my brain, it's perfect. So every other apple pie doesn't taste like it. So even though I'm sure there are others that are quote unquote better, they're not better to me, Yeah. So I can't do it. So it has to be like pumpkin or something like that.
Got it. That makes sense. I mean, it's like I try new food sometimes, or I try foods that I might have thought I enjoyed when I was younger, and then I try them again. I'm like, this just doesn't taste the same.
Right. Like SpaghettiOs is one. That's one I don't miss.
Yes.
You eat that as an adult, and you're like, man, my childhood was not as good as I thought.
Ketchup with some like slimy noodles in there.
Yeah. You're like, I could see how I liked it as a kid, but oh my God.
You didn't know any better. It's okay.
No. Oh man, now that's a way to end a segment. There we go.
Right. On that note, take a listen to our interview.
Yep.
Welcome back to EPR. Today we have Alex Troutman with us. Alex is a wildlife biologist, author, and environmental justice advocate. Welcome, Alex. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Well, today I'd like to start from the beginning, maybe not super beginning of Earth and your birth and all that, but when did you start getting interested in nature, and what things led you to your career in wildlife biology?
Yeah, so I think I was kind of destined to be in nature. My last name is Troutman. So it was almost chosen for me. But really, I had always been in nature growing up. I was really interested into animals. I had every zoo book. My neighbors would give me National Geographics. Yeah. I watched a lot of conservationists, Jack Hanna, Seaburn, Jeff Corn, and I knew I wanted to be a wildlife biologist or a conservationist, but I really didn't know if that was actually possible for me because there was nobody who looked like me or any representation doing that. So for the longest time, I figured I would be a vet because it was either be a vet or be a farmer. And those are only the representations of people of color working with animals. So I said, okay, I'll be a vet, and did all my schooling, still trying to figure out as much information as I could about wildlife and animals. And during that time, I was very active in the outdoors with my family, my dad, uncle, and brothers. We went fishing a lot. And it was during that time where I also figured out I had a hobby that I didn't know was a hobby. I just thought I was outside looking at birds. I have ADHD, so I was fishing, but I was like looking at the birds I was fishing, and one of the birds, the red-tailed hawk, which would eventually become my spark bird, I saw like flying over, and like when it was flying over, it went in front of the sun, and the tail looked like it was on fire, kind of like a phoenix. So like that really got me interested in like looking at birds. So I was looking at birds all the way up into college. And then I figured out when I took a ornithology course to study of birds that there's an actual thing called bird watching and birding. And I had been doing it all my life, but I didn't know it was an actual thing.
Yeah. Oh,
that's amazing. Awesome. That's amazing. What's a spark bird? I have not heard this term before.
Yeah. So a spark bird is any bird that gets you into birding or bird watching. So for me, it was the spark bird. For others, it's birds that like they have never seen before, like out west, in Oregon, they don't have northern cardinals. So that's some people's spark bird, or it can also be a lifer, which is a bird that you really want to see. But a spark bird is the bird that got you interested in watching birds.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Cool. I think I hear a segment coming along around this topic.
Yes. Spark birds and lifers. If you happen to find a lifer, a bird you really want to see, you get to eat what's known as lifer pie, and it's any type of pie you want to eat.
Oh, I'm in love with this idea. Okay, done. Nick, next segment. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so I want to stay on this topic for just a second. So birding, what is your favorite bird? Where have you been birding? What's your most exotic birding place?
Okay, so my favorite bird is a bird that I have not seen yet. It's a penguin, really any penguin that does toboggans or sledding. I really like them because they're like dressing in tuxedo, and then they go down the slide. So I was like, it'll be really cool to go like a fancy dinner party in a tuxedo and then whip out a slip and slide. Yeah, so that's my favorite. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Right. So that's my favorite bird. But other birds that I have actually seen, some of my favorites are the roseated spoonbill. It's a beautiful pink bird from afar, but when you get up close to it, it has a wrinkly bald head, so it's not as cute. But the plumage or feathers are amazing. So I really love that bird. But I have been in some really amazing places birding. I've been in Australia, Costa Rica. I did some birding unintentionally when I was in Malaysia doing bat work. I got to do some birding there, and I got to hear a couple of like rhinoceros hornbills flying over, and it sounded like helicopters. They were so loud. They were so loud.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Very cool. Well, tell us more about the work that you've done. So you've done both field biology and policy. So how do you kind of navigate both of those?
Yeah. So all my work initially started out in field, the world of field biology, field work. I worked with sea turtles, bats, butterflies, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to actually learn more about how the policy is actually made instead of just blindly accepting policy and implementing it. So I applied for the Canals Marine Policy Fellowship, and I got it. And I spent a year doing freshwater policy for the Fish and Aquatic Conservation Division of the Fish and Wildlife Service. So there I got to do a lot of policy with a lot of freshwater fish, so salmonoid species, fish passage, as well as do some funding agreements for fish work. And then after that policy experience for a year, I got a job working with the National Park Service as an environmental protection specialist, where I was looking at the National Environmental Policy Act, doing all the work to help to make sure that the actual policy is being followed as the park is going through changes. I'm working alongside the Department of Transportation to make sure that they're actually following the NAEP policy.
Yep. That's what I do. I love that. So like, you've had lots of different jobs, or I guess roles is maybe the better word. Do you have a favorite of those, of the ones you're talking about? Like, was there like a time you're like, if only I could stand in the muck for, 8 hours a day, or is it, do you like the policy stuff kind of more?
Yeah, so I definitely like field work a whole lot better. But the policy definitely give me an appreciation of where like it comes from, and to be able to not only explain it better, but also be able to help make better decisions and tell other people about it. Because it's one thing to just be in the field, following the orders that you've been given, but to actually understand like, okay, this is the reason why we're limiting this, or the reason why we're allowing so much of this to be took or take. So it gives me a better perspective. It's like you can sell cakes, but then to actually know how to actually bake the cake, buy the right ingredients, gives you a more appreciation for the cake itself.
Yeah, that's a great segue too, because I was thinking about it. Like, you talk about yourself as an environmental educator. That's something that's very important to you. And you kind of set that up to be like, you learned a lot about a lot of different things, not just what you like the most. So how do you use like what you learned to teach others? Like, how do you get people who maybe don't have that experience or that background that you have to understand where you're coming from?
Yeah, so I would say everyone has something that they enjoy or that you can relate them to. It might be a weird relation, like I love snakes, but you're afraid of snakes.
Right.
We both can relate to snakes.
Right.
So it's using all those experience in a way that you can not only relate to someone, but also you can show them why you're passionate about it and why they may not care about it, but they should at least have some interest in it or be appreciative. But like, you still can be afraid and hate snakes, but you still can be appreciative that they help to control the rodent population. Or for some of them, the venomous snakes like copperheads, they actually utilize the venom to treat certain cancers like breast cancer. Or you may be afraid of bats, but they provide a lot of economic value from controlling insect populations to, if you like margaritas, tequila comes from pollination by bats. So there's always something to relate to. I just like learning and to be able to learn a lot of information and share it to people, especially in a way that they can see like my passions shine through, and it's be able for them to understand it. And it's not me talking over them, but talking with them and give them more appreciation for the environment. Or it's also being able to know that I'm able to teach the next generation appreciation, and maybe even give them a reason or a spark into nature, into science. And I really love like talking to the younger generation because they're like sponges, and it's also kind of like a Trojan horse. So they soak up all the information, and then they go home and just like let all the information out. So
that is great.
Yeah. So you can definitely like reach at least one other individual by talking to a kid. So I love talking to the younger generation for that.
And it's like, you'd like to give back. And I think it's a really great thing. I love to see that. And one of the ways you do that is you're creating the author of the Critters Pocket Field Guide series. And so you've done, 13 states with more on the way. And I think this is a really cool thing. So some of our listeners may not be familiar with what it is. Can you walk through what that series is and what inspired you to pull it together?
Yeah, so the Critters series, it's a field guide that actually fits in your pocket, and I written in a way that it's accessible, easy to understand for people who are new to nature and kids. Each field guide has 63 different species accounts. They are broken into birds, mammals, and reptile and amphibians, and each different species has a did you know fact about the animal that is being covered. And again, like I said, this is written in a way that everyone can understand it. Growing up, I really enjoyed looking at wildlife magazines and field guides. But for the first couple of years, I can admit that there was a lot of words that I didn't know. So I would just look at the pictures.
Yeah. Oh man, I had this thing called like Animal Fact Files, and it was like sent in the mail to me. It was just like the same thing where it's just like I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what this means, but there's a picture of an orca, and that's super cool. So I'm going to read about it, I guess. I would always go to the did you know, and I'm like, okay, this is much easier for me to understand. Okay, I got it. And then, I love that. So I think this kind of thing is super fantastic. So how does that come together? Do you have to, how long does it take you to write one of these?
It really depends on the book, anywhere from like a couple of weeks to a month or more. I definitely try to spread out the typing, but it really depends. Like the first ones, it took a while because even as an environmental educator, I felt like I was writing in a way that people could understand. Then working with my editor was like this is good, but you gotta loosen it up a little bit. It's still a little bit too much to digest. I was like, all right, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Right, yes. I was like, okay, I got it. Or I want to cram so many interesting facts in. It's but our page limit is this, or we only can do 50 words for this. I was like, okay, let me see how I'm going to do this. But now I got it pretty down packed. A lot of the things that save time is at first, I was doing a book on the East Coast, then a book on the West Coast, but I narrowed down by being able to do a couple per region. And some of those have similar animals, so I can have some of the same accounts and then switch some of them out. So it's not me doing 63 new animals every time.
Yeah.
It's still hard because there's in most states there's over 2,000 plus different types of animals. So it's how do I pick the best 63? And I don't know. I cheat sometimes. My editor was like, "Oh, these birds are very similar, so I can put them on the red-tailed hawk and red shoulder hawk."
Yeah, I know, right?
Let me put them on.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
So some of them you get 65 or 68 different animals.
Right. No, I love it. I think it's a great way to give back. I love that you like to write. And like I say, it's really neat. I know you've got an article coming out in September just to prove that you like birding. You have an article coming out in Birding Magazine. Can you give us a sneak peek of what it's about without spoiling the whole thing?
Yes, it's about birding in the salt marsh. So it tells you different tips how to bird in the salt marsh and maybe some of the birds you can see. And the magazine is out now. I actually just got my copy yesterday.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Okay. That's awesome.
Awesome. Kingfishers. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. They are amazing. I really love the kingfishers. And they actually teach humans some pretty cool technological advances. Was it biomimicry? The bullet trains in Japan. At one time, they were designed in a way that they were creating a sonic boom because of the way they were designed. And then they was looking at kingfishers and seeing how they dive in the water. They can break the tension without creating much of a splash. So they designed the bullet trains nose to break the tension like a kingfisher, and now it reduces the sound. And also I think it like cut like or increased the speed by like 3 to 5%. Somewhere in there, like it increased the speed and definitely deafen the sound.
Wow, that's some amazing and finally material.
I know. I think I didn't already write it down.
Oh, I'm gonna look at. I mean, I already admire kingfishers so much, and then you hear them first, and then you're like, "Where is it?"
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
They are so full of sass. It's hilarious. There's like what
they are. Yes. And Like I've been chasing one for like the last couple of weeks. One of the parks I bird at, they're redoing the pond, and then so the kingfisher is coming out, and like I hear it sound like I finally found it, and like it landed in the pond and like on a briefer perch. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna get my camera out. Like it's gonna fly away. And it stood there for 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my camera out now. And as soon as I got it up, it flew away.
While giving you the finger. Yeah, it's just that's them.
It's like, are you gonna ever get that camera out? Okay, cool. Now I'm going.
Yeah, no one will believe you.
That's amazing.
It's annoying.
Well, and okay, all of this, I love it. I love that all of this is the actual living, breathing outcome of your childhood dreams. Like you want it to be this, like the people you're watching who are doing animal fun stuff and you're watching. So I love that now you're kind of fulfilling that role and there's people watching you. But like you said, when you were doing it, there were not role models of your same color, same persona doing it. How do you feel now being able to give back and do that and be that person?
It's definitely like amazing and fulfilling. Like there's been times when like people reached out on social media. Like for instance, like a couple of years ago, I posted like a post about not looking like a scientist because usually when you ask people what a scientist looks like, they'll give you like some cookie cutter of usually an older white male with glasses in a lab coat. That like I don't fit that mold. Like I'm black, I'm fat, I laugh a lot, and so it's not that role that people's like, oh, you're a scientist. I haven't worn a lab coat since college, so it's just interesting to like see. But anyways, I posted that, and like I didn't really know like how many people were like watching me or gonna interact with it. But it got like thousands of like likes and comments, and like so many people were like, oh, like my kid thinks you're the best scientist. Like he wants to be a scientist like you.
That's incredible.
Like, you're an awesome scientist. Yeah. So it's like tear jerking and like heartwarming. And then another instance, when I was working with sea turtles in Corpus Christi, Texas, I got to work up a whole sea turtle. And when I got done, there was a family of 2 older ladies and some kids. They were their grandkids, and they were older Black ladies, and they was like just telling me like how proud they are of me, and telling their kids, "Here's a scientist," and it was just like heartwarming, and it was like especially encouraging. Like it's just something about like an older woman like giving you just like I'm not sure like compliments. So it's just like, oh, so it was like, okay, like, yes, you can be my adopted grandma. Yes. Like,
You're like, thank you. And I have to do this like,
right, exactly. like, it's like, I'm not crying. It's the salt water.
I got some sand in my eye.
Yeah. So it's amazing. And so I definitely just try to be that. I like to call it a mirror because, I mean, like I didn't have that representation, so I didn't have a mirror to see like it was possible. Even growing up, 20 minutes from a national battlefield, 40 minutes from a national recreation area, there's no one who looked like me working there or even in the STEM field there. Even at Zoo Atlanta, I didn't see my first like Black zookeeper or a person of color zookeeper for that fact until I started working there when I was in college in my 20s. So it was just like, now there's no excuse for especially like teachers to say, oh, I couldn't find any get like pictures of any people of color scientists. There's a lot of us out there and out here. Sometimes, sadly, you still got to go 3, 4, 5 pages deep in Google to look, unless you put in person of color or Black scientists. Otherwise, you just hit scientists or wildlife biologists. It's going to take a couple of pages, but there is representation out there.
Yeah, there's still work to be done in this industry and environmental across the board. But glad to see you're doing it, and just kudos to like not having the role model, the path paved before you, and still doing it. Like, I think that's truly amazing. And to even go so far as participating in Black Birders Week and Black Mammologist Week, because there aren't a lot of people doing that. So where did those come from, and how do you participate in those?
Yeah, so Black Birders Week is definitely what it all started. They originated from 2 different impactful events in 2020. One is the death of George Floyd by police, and then the other is, which happened, I believe, on the same day, if not like a day before each other, the unfortunate event where Christian Cooper, a Black birder in New York City, was birding in Central Park, and a white lady called the police on him and said that he was threatening her because he told her to put her dog on a leash in an area that is for birding, and it has a ordinance that says all dogs have to be on a leash. But as many times the woman cried and called the police and lied and said that he was threatening her. And so the police came, which is a huge threat and could be life-altering and could lead to death, especially in Black and people of color, Black and men and people of color in general, because it is pretty much a threat on their life. And regardless of where you live, a lot of times the police officer is going to believe the woman, and especially a white woman, over a Black man. So from those incidents, we wanted to show like this is something that's not new. Sadly is common for people of color and Black individuals to be accosted or harassed when they are just trying to do simple things in nature. So we created Black Birders Week to show and amplify that, hey, Black people love nature too, and we're out here. What is going on isn't something that just happens sometimes. It actually happens quite frequently. But even so, we are reclaiming this space. We are out here. We're birding. We're doing field biology. We're doing great science work, and we are enjoying nature. And then it also was a call to connect other Black birders and nature enthusiasts to each other. So that's how Black Birders Week started, and it just started a movement of many different Black and X weeks, from Black Mammologist Week to Black and Marine Science Week, Black Botany Week, and Black and Neuroscience Week, and so on. And from those weeks, there are many nonprofits now that amplify, well, not only amplify, but amplify and encourage movements as well as students and kids to pursue the STEAM field, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and also advocating for being your 100% truly unapologetic and authentic Black self.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's unfortunate that these circumstances are the reasons these have come into light, but let's keep them here. So I appreciate all of that. And what kind of takeaways do you have from it in seeing the kind of people that come out and maybe their first time coming out to go birding?
Yeah, so some of the great takeaways is, one, like the community. I've met so many different people from it. People who live right here in Atlanta that I never knew who lived here. And we were able to connect, as well as people from other parts of the country, but also like just definitely an uprising of like Black birders, from people living in rural areas to people living in the city, that like, oh, we got city birds too. Like Like, okay, we're not just seeing regular pigeons. There's falcons that live in city in some areas.
Yeah.
As well as just like, okay, we have been wanting to bird, but we never knew how, and showing them like, sure, like binoculars are a great tool for birding, but you don't really need anything to bird. You can just sit at your porch and see them, look out your window. You don't have to go to any parks, but you can literally just walk down the street and see so many different bird species. And some of them have the same kind of plight as us as Black people being brought over from our country to here a lot of times against us will, especially our first ancestors as slaves. But birds like house sparrows, European starlings, all came over here because someone brought them over here, and now they're have made this place their home. But they're still birds that people can be excited about seeing. Those are some of the birds I really love, especially like the house sparrows and the pigeons or rock doves. I really love them. I love them because they're resilient. You can find them in some rural areas, but you can find them in the city. You can see them at baseball games, checking out the popcorn, rooting on the Braves.
They're participating. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like house sparrow is like the cruelest name. It's just if it had a different name, people would be like, that bird's so cool. It looks
right.
It's just called a house sparrow. I don't know why.
Yeah, they are so cool. And if it definitely had a different name, it would be amazing. I don't know. I feel like they should be like, I don't know. Like I've seen them randomly. I have seen like 4 different house sparrows in airports, but like they're always in grocery stores or like Walmart or Home Depot.
Yeah. They know what's up.
Right.
Yeah, they are not afraid of people.
No.
They should get more credit for that, for being tiny little things.
Yeah.
But I love the urban birds. I was in a park here in Brooklyn recently, and there was a peregrine falcon. 2 of them, a pair of them circling the park. And it was me and one other couple who were like, look at that. We're like, oh my God, that's amazing. The rest of the park just going about like a regular day. We're like, no, but it's
right.
Look up. That's hilarious. Oh, that's funny.
That's great. You could find the birder in that situation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had like one of my roommates in college. Like he was a birder, and he was studying Prothronotary warblers. I was studying box turtles. And there's a picture of us in the same forest, right? And he's up and I'm looking down, and it's just like, this is our job. Our job is where are we looking?
To look down.
Right. Oh, that's funny. One forest, 2 views.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting close to our time. Before we do, we wanted to touch base on, you were working for the parks recently, and then sort of another victim to budget cuts and the things that are currently happening. So we just wanted to give you a chance to maybe speak to that, and, how great was it to work for the parks, and what are you planning to do next?
Yeah, so I did work for the parks. It was a great experience. It was a chance for me to come back home long term. I was working in DC before this, and this was my ticket home and back into Atlanta and Georgia, and to be able to work there, a park unit that I grew up visiting was so amazing. I was able to tell people who came to the park about on the Chattahoochee River and things that I got to enjoy when I was growing up, from being able to hike some of the trails or tubing down the river. But sadly, I was terminated from that position 2 different times in 6 months because of the new administration, the Trump administration. The first time was in February on Valentine's Day. I received an email that said my probationary was being terminated, and that was it. And no one knew anything about it. They didn't let my supervisor know or anything. They just sent me an email, which I happened to come back from a vacation on, to see that I had been terminated, and not even like just terminated, be wrongfully terminated on the basis of my performance, which was not even evaluated by the people who sent it to me. Two different people was listed on there that I had never met. And my latest performance value was successful, was outstanding. And for them to say that, was like, you guys never even met me, so how could you have evaluated my performance? And like I said, my supervisor didn't know anything about it. They didn't even CC her on the mail. So I have to reach out and say, hey, I'm being terminated. Yeah. So I was terminated. And then for 45 days, I didn't work. But thankfully, the court overruled it. So I was able to come back to work in mid-March, and I worked back as environmental protection specialist up until July 15th, when my term wasn't renewed. And that was the second time that I was being let go by the National Park Service in the span of a couple of months. And this time it's because my position doesn't align with the president's priorities to keep all parks open and accessible.
Yeah, that's wild. And thank you very much for sharing. And I have lots of thoughts. Yeah, but I genuinely appreciate you sharing it. I know it's not easy to do, and it's not where we're going to end the interview, but I really appreciate that you took the time to share that with us, because it's not a fun time. But if this is any indication, I think you're going to be fine. Like, you've been great here. Really loved getting to know you a little bit. And I want to end on a couple of things. But one is, like, we love to share our field stories, and I know you've got them. We've already sort of talked a little bit about your work outside. So this is the part of the show where we share memorable moments of people doing the job, this funny, scary, awkward field stories, so to speak. And if you guys want to send us one, you can send it at info@environmentalprofessionalsradio.com. But Alex, you told us about the first time you saw a nesting sea turtle, which is a once in a lifetime thing for most people. What was that like?
Yes. So the first time I saw a nesting sea turtle, it was so many different emotions. It was amazing. It was scary. It was like heart-wrenching and beautiful. But the story goes, I was riding with my volunteer, and I was riding, and it was like my first official day after training. And I'm like, okay, I got to find these turtle tracks. I don't want to miss them. So we're driving down, and it's just now starting to get done. And I see a giant rock in the surf zone. And I'm like, man, that's a big rock. And I'm just keep looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the rock. And then finally, this rock is slowly crawling. I'm like, the rock is moving. And then it took a couple seconds. Then I was like, oh my gosh, that's a sea turtle. And then I was super pumped. And then I was texting my volunteer. I was like, hey, it's a sea turtle. And they didn't show any emotion at all. They just looked at me and was like, I know. Okay. Yeah. So we got to go up. We sat at a safe distance and watched the sea turtle finish crawling out the water. And then they started digging. And once they started digging, we wait for them to go into a trance. And during that trance is when they are laying their eggs. And that's when we can go out, actually conduct our scientific work. So we measure them. Wow. We take biological samples. We put a stringer in the nest, like a rope, to be able to locate the nest after they cover it, put metal tags on electronic big tag. So we're doing all this in a matter of minutes while they're laying their eggs. And then finally, we get done with all that, and we scoot back and let her finish laying her eggs. And then she starts covering her eggs. And this is also they also do a body slam where they're tamping the sand down to cover the nest. So it's just pretty cool to watch that. And then after a while, she just turns back around and goes into the water and like a little slow crawl. Then like you watch it and it's like this shell is like getting smaller and smaller. And finally it just goes away. It's like, oh, you did it.
Meanwhile, like she's walking away like, I can't believe you thought I was a rock. Yeah.
Right. So yes, exactly. Yeah,
That's so awesome.
Ever seen a rock do that before? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It's so amazing. And it's like your first time is like so like seeing it, like the whole complete thing is like amazing. And it's scary at the same time because you're like, trying to watch this beautiful moment, but also trying to do your work. Like, did I do everything? Yeah. Like, did I call it in on radio? Yeah. So it's crazy.
This has been so much fun. I don't want it to end, but I do want to, before we end, give you a chance to. So also, again, thank you for sharing your Parks Service story, but also, if you want to tell people, are you looking for a next thing or like, what should we look out for you? Are you publishing more books? I know you are. And then also just if you have any other final thoughts that you would like to leave us with.
Yeah, so I definitely am looking for work. So yeah, if you have anything, let me know. If you are looking to get in touch with me,
Did you hear that? Okay, the universe just rang a doorbell.
Yes, the universe opens the door. So yeah. I'm looking for positions. I'm available for speaking engagements, classroom visits, both virtual and in person. I lead nature hikes, teach people how to fish and hunt. So yeah, if you're interested, you can reach me on social media at nature_AL, and that's in the number 8 TURE_AL. And my email is official.nature in the number 8 TUREAL @gmail.com.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. This has been absolutely amazing and fun and great meeting you. So thanks for joining us today.
And you're welcome. Thank y'all for having me.
That's our show. Thank you, Alex, for joining us today. Please be sure to check us out each and every Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Bye.
See you, everybody.